Yes, people, welcome to Never Foul in the afternoon, your midday live. We're going to be joined by Don in about 2 minutes, and also Jay. If anyone knows Jay, the Spurs fan, he should be here as well, so don't worry about that. But other than that, the people that are here that were on time is, well, the one that's typing right now, Nobbins. Big up yourself. What are you saying?
Sorry, I thought I muted myself. Apologies. I'm good, man.
You didn't watch yourself?
I thought I muted myself.
I was like, nah, that sounds crazy.
So, apologies. Yes, I'm doing good. How rude of me. Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me again. Big up.
That's mine. It's my fault, anyways. Why you probably haven't been on the last couple of weeks. Last couple of Tuesdays have been a bit. Well, I was late myself last week, so I couldn't do much about that.
Talk.
Yeah. I know. Blame myself. Always blame me. Why not? What are you saying, Roms? Look cold.
I'm good, man. It is cold, this chapping, but I'm good. Have to do it off my phone. I follow these people. I like to read the comments and that. You know, always entertaining. But I can't see none today, so it's a bit annoying. But big up. I'm good.
Has anyone noticed? Have you noticed? No, you would know Nobbins, but I'm gonna ask Greasy. Why have you got a lisp?
Me?
Yeah, you're talking like you got something like that.
Someone else said this to me, I don't see it, but
you can't see it because you have to hear it. But I'm just saying, can you? Have you been dentist?
No.
No.
But I don't think I have one, and if I do, it's slight. I don't think I have a proper one.
No, I can only hear it now for some reason. Yeah, but yeah, as I said, yeah, Don's gonna be here in any second, and Jay, we'll see if he turns up. But yeah, man, we're gonna be talking about Osimhen, the John Obi-Mikel thing, which I think is absolutely crazy. Agent John Obi-Mikel, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit more about Chelsea as well. A little bit more in depth, and obviously Nobbins here with the Man City stuff. So yeah, man, ill discipline. Yeah, something like that. And we're going to be talking about Sancho set to leave Man United, but he's not just the only name. It's concrete. This is all from Fabrizio as well. You can see for it. See for yourself. Juventus are interested. And then even Spurs, they're eyeing up another striker to come in and help with that situation. But is that the position that they should be focusing on right now is another question. That's what I was hoping Jay would come in, and obviously he'll give his input. And we can obviously give our input as well. So yeah, man, all for that. But other than that, I think a little bit of like, have you not noticed a lot of the transfer rumors are starting to now come about? You know, like
the rumor mill is in overdrive. It's getting to that time of the year. It's you know, we're nearly hearing Mariah Carey and the transfer.
I've heard it already.
I've already heard it yesterday, yeah, and I'm not even kidding. Like it was, what was it, in the morning, and I don't know where I heard it from, but Daps is just, as you can see right here, people, yeah, the Etihad stage is behind me, the number plate. Who do you think put that up?
Oh, I've just noticed you got a little tree.
Yeah. No, it lights up. Oh, don't worry, it lights up. It's got tinsel and everything. It's got the whole lot. Like, don't worry about that. But yeah, no, it could just stay there for now. I don't even care. But Etihad, you know, flipping now. No, but other than that, yeah, no. I heard yesterday, I couldn't help but keep humming it for some reason, and then I started humming other like Christmas rhythms and all that. So yeah, man, it's just that point. Roms, man, excited for Christmas, G.
Oh, really? The older you get.
What's Liverpool getting for Christmas?
A DM. No, left centre back. That's what we're getting. Then we win the league. You know how it goes.
All right, there's going to be some serious conversations about it. I guarantee all day today and tomorrow is going to be about Liverpool potentially winning the league. Guess what? I might have to do one. You know what I mean? Let me pick up some of the comments. I want to see who's in the comments. If you're a new subscriber or I've never really spoke to you in the comments before, because I usually reply to people in the comments, let me know where you're from. I want to know new people. Big up Ahmed, big up Obi. With man like Jay. Oh, settings. Man's got brick wall settings. Damn. Hey, what were you saying? Brick wall.
Big up, Jay. Long time.
It's been a second. How are you doing, gentlemen? You well? This is I'm in the office. You see, like that's the this is it. The office is quite nice. Actually, they gave us a rates review yesterday, so you know the bailiffs might be coming round soon. So I can't. Enjoy the yellow brick road while you can, gentlemen. But I hope we're all well.
Like,
Yes,
you take an age. This brother takes an age to reply.
I was working last night, right? And you know when you use your phone, but you just dive into the group chat, and it's almost like there's people outside that that is messaging you, and you sometimes don't see it, and then you come back into the chat afterwards, and you go into the main thing because then it's a bit like, yeah, damn. So I was, oh god, I'm ignoring him. So very sorry, very sorry.
No, I don't apologize. What do you think this is? It's not like not bun that. Big up Ahmed, big up Blues Empire, just having a bit of a you and Ahmed always at each other. Big up Kingsman in the building, Obi as well. What he said about you, Rums? This little fan was saying he doesn't see Chelsea laying a glove on City.
I did, and listen, I hold my hands up. I did. Listen, I give you lot your flowers. I give you lot your flowers.
I'm gonna say. Hopefully, I say your name properly. Rian. Or Rehan, I'm gonna say it's Rehan. Bashir, big up yourself. Obi again. Skolzy, ill-disciplined cats, always a foul. A pleasure, man, pleasure. Tiny in the building. Man, like Zaberi, big up. It says, Kaz, get your intro right. It's morning time in the West. This is some Sunday League channel. Gal, you might be, you might be Sunday League, but you got Premier League fans around the world. Big up Roms and Liverpool.
Big up Zaberi every time.
Zaberi, man. Dr. Zaberi, by the way, Dr. Zaberi. Especially in the building, doctor. DJ, Mary, and Kit as well. Benedict, big up yourselves, Sharvin, and many others as well. Arion, can't forget this guy. Cassis 10 are gonna somehow scumbag a UCL finish. Questions, questions, and the man himself finally, he's here. You know what? I was gonna put in the top.
You've been ducking me, ain't you, Jay? Hey, you've been ducking me, ain't ya? Hey. Chelsea ain't gonna do nothing. That's how he talks to me. Chelsea ain't gonna do nothing. Came to your yard. You know what I did? I came to your yard. I let myself in. No, Jay. You listen.
No.
I came to your yard. Hey, do you know what I did? I came to your yard. I said, well, go on. I didn't even take off my shoes. I went to the fridge. No. Jay.
You got to be within single points. Hey, Jay, double-digit points behind me. I'm not having it.
Do you know what I did though? This is what I did. I came over, I didn't even take off my shoes. I went straight to the fridge. You know what I'm saying? I just took some milk out, made myself a cup of coffee. Do you know what I mean? Took some biscuits, digestives and that. Dunked on you, man. Yeah, Jackson. Ooh, yeah.
Did you dunk on us, or did we self-sabotage ourselves?
That's your beef. That's your beef.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our beef. That's our beef. You picked the carcass.
You let Action Jacko dunk on your ass, yeah? You let Action Jacko dunk on you, my bro.
Don't listen, like little hyena.
Talk to us nicely,
that Nicholas Jackson, that hyena.
Yeah,
he's coming like the Lion King. No.
Hey, the hyena came to slay though. He came to slay though.
Not for me. I prefer to kill rather than just rotten carcass. That 9-man rotten carcass. And you guys just indulged in it. Fair enough. We got ourselves run over, but you're the ones who wanted to pick the carcass. So okay. No problem.
Yeah,
you deserve that.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of pain this season. You deserve that.
Yeah.
Don comes onto the panel, doesn't say hi.
I wasn't expecting this man. I wasn't expecting this man,
I gave it him a little bit last time I talked about Chelsea.
Exactly.
This is well deserved.
I ain't seen Jay in a minute, innit? But listen,
it's good to see you. Anyway,
big up, good to see you, man. Big up the panel, obviously. Big up the chat, man. As I had a work call to sort out, but yeah, it'll be a good show, man.
Yeah. So
for him, it will be.
Today is a little bit of like a transfer kind of thing. So obviously, it's that time of year. Then December is going to be absolutely crucified of transfer rumors, and then before you know it, January comes about. But Don, man, obviously, I want to start off with the Man City stuff since Nobbins is here as well. We didn't get to talk that much on Sunday. I wonder why. Daps, I know you're listening. Other than that. What are you saying, man? Look, there's been options. There's been talks of a striker. You got a new agent, if you didn't know this, surrounding your club for a certain striker from a certain country, John Obi. But other than that, on Sunday, you were pretty clinical. Finally taking some chances. Like, what was your take? I didn't get to actually listen to you. I'll be so honest. But what was your actual take on Man City and the Chelsea game? Like, consensus of it. I don't want to get Nobbins as well because I just need to get both opinions. I just want to know what you actually think.
Bro, I actually think that was our best performance of the season. And I think that was Man City's hardest game of the season. That was my takeaway from the game. I'll be real with you lot. In terms of our sustained attacks during the game, in terms of how clinical we were in front of goal. I know we conceded 4 goals, yeah, but when you break down each goal individually, bro, like some of them you couldn't do anything about. You know, one of them was a penalty, which shouldn't have been a penalty.
Just to chime in, explain how that was Man City's hardest game of the season. I'm sure a loss would equate to your hardest.
I would say losing to Wolves would constitute a harder game, rather than being ahead with 2 minutes to go versus you.
To be honest, I didn't watch that Wolves game. Yeah, so Nobbins can obviously Nobbins can give his opinion on that one. I know they lost that game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were outplayed by Wolves in that game. For example, like I know that game you guys struggled to create. I saw the highlights, but I didn't watch the whole game against Wolves, right? And Nobbins can give his opinion as well. Yeah, but Jay, let me land on the game.
I agree, Don. I agree.
Yeah, well, you think that was the hardest game for you lot this season? Yeah. So I think we started off really well, man. Our build up from the back was spot on. Was beating the press. You know, Palmer and Reece James, they were linking up nicely on the right hand side. Even on the left hand side, man, Cucurella and Sterling, they were linking up nicely. Our midfield was really intact. Man City was struggling to play through our midfield. They kept trying to play it wide, and every time they did, bro, they kicked it off the pitch. Do you know what I'm saying? And that goes down to the game plan that was implemented. Poch wasn't letting our players give Man City players any time on the ball. Rodri, he looks rattled this game, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And Rodri, look how press resistant he is. But Gallagher, again, off the ball, XL bully setting. So I think we played really well, you know, in front of goal. We took our chances. Sterling, amazing. This is what you get from Sterling, though. It's hot and cold, man. And it's really frustrating because when he's hot, bro, he can cook guys like Walker. I know Walker's not the same guy that he was, but I ain't seen Walker get cooked like that in a long time. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I think it was a good performance. You know, we went down 3 times in the game and we showed some fight to come back, because one thing that I said at the beginning of the season is that we keep losing these games because we concede first and we just don't have that mentality or that experience to come back into games. But what I saw the other day, bro, was mentality, drive, you know, confidence to get back into the game. And every time City scored, I didn't see anyone's heads drop. They're like, you know what? Let's just go again. Let's just go play our game. And one thing that I said to Roms and Ty as well, Cass, on Sunday on Rivals, yeah, I literally said, I don't see us just sitting back and letting Man City play their game. I see us playing our game.
You shouldn't. You should just go out.
Exactly. And I said the same thing against Arsenal as well. I said, we're not going to just sit back and let them play their game. The only time I would have said that would have happened is if we got an early goal like what we did against Arsenal, and then we let Man City say, come break us down. Then I think we would have probably changed our tactics a little bit. But overall, bro, we played our game, and I'm not surprised by it. This is what we've been doing all season. So listen, we've got Nkuku coming back now. Elavia, they should be ready for the Newcastle game. They won't start, but it's now time to bed them in. You know, Newcastle, they've got bare injuries right now. We need to. I want to go over there and get 3 points. Like it's a good opportunity to get 3 points. Then we've got Brighton after that. You know, we've beaten them already this season. So they're very inconsistent this year. I'm expecting to win that game.
Someone said they haven't won a game since a certain period of time or something like that.
Bro, they've been mad inconsistent, bro. They haven't been
2 months, I think. I think it's about 2 months, or maybe
2 months.
I think they've won 1
2 months since a win.
Yeah, 2 months.
Or maybe they've won 1 game in 2 months or something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a stat like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Newcastle that are deflated with injuries, right? And our squad is now slowly coming back.
Don't you have Newcastle coming up soon?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've got them next after the international break, right? So we've got them.
You've always got to wait. You always got to wait 2 weeks, bro.
I know.
2 weeks.
I know.
You're talking greasy now, and then you see Isak in the starting lineup.
Let me finish.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Listen, what I'm saying is Newcastle right now, they've got, like I said, they've got a lot of injuries, yeah, to their key players. Do you get it? We're getting our players back. Obviously, we have to see what happens over the 2-week break. But majority of our key players right now, like that play for England, like Reece James isn't there. Obviously, Palmer got selected for the first team. But you've got guys like Nkuku, he's not going for France right now. Lavia is obviously not going to Belgium. So most of them are getting a little bit of rest. They should be ready for Newcastle. Brighton, again, they're off form right now. And then you've got Man United after that, where I expect us to beat them. If they beat us, then I'm sorry. Like there's no excuses to not beat Man United. I don't care if it's Old Trafford. Bare teams have gone Old Trafford this year.
Like, Don, I like...
Bro, Jay, I'll let you come in, bro. But
will you? I don't see the opening for me to come in.
Let me finish my point, innit, yeah? So what I'm saying is, as much as you're saying about confidence, this, that, we have points to make up, bro. Yeah, because start of the season, we're dropping points against teams that we should have been beating. Forest, West Ham, all of these teams were beating us, and we were leaving with nothing. We were performing well. So now we need to start winning these games. As much as you want to talk about confidence and that, I'm confident in the quality of my team, bro. In front of goal, if we play like what we did against City, we'll beat these teams that we've got coming up. 100%. I've got no doubts about that. No doubts about that. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. The next 3 games are key, man. They're key. We need to fly up that table now, man.
Let me just say something on this, because obviously as the team that stupidly gave Chelsea the mouth to talk in this instance, I feel incumbent to apologize to all of you on the panel that Don has this bee in his bonnet. Thing is, Don, whilst the shoots of recovery look like potentially you could grow into a wonderful tree, you didn't beat Liverpool, you didn't beat City, like you didn't beat Arsenal, you beat us with 9 men, but you were 1-0 down until Romero imploded and Udogie started diving in. Ooh. All I'm trying to say to you is,
what happened shortly before that when we had 11? When you had 11 men, we're still
11 versus 11. You were coming back into the game. You looked good. Like you were probably worth an equalizer.
Jay is cooking. Jay.
I'm not trying to say that Chelsea are not going to be a good side this season and they're not going to do even better. But Don, you yourself said that your team does better against teams that come out to play. That's what you said, right? Now, in these games where teams are coming out to play, you're not winning them. You beat us 9 men.
That hasn't left my mouth once, by the way.
No, I'm saying...
Igal said that a lot. That hasn't left my mouth once. No, but I think this low block thing's overdone. I think this low block thing is overdone. I'll be real.
And that's fine. Listen, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree on the panel. Yeah, I think we can all agree on the panel that Chelsea have shown in the last few games that they've got something about them and they could potentially have a good season. Mm-hmm. However, I can't crown you guys anything yet whilst you still remain 10 points behind the pack and you still have a number of difficult games over the next 4 weeks. And for all that good performance against City, you did concede 4 goals. And if not for Ruben Diaz having a uncharacteristically poor game, they might have held out for that game and got an undeserved win against you. So I think for where you are,
you can't look at it like that.
You're going to improve. Like, but the thing is you've been talking like this all season and you're still 10th. Do you know what I mean? You've been all season. You've been saying, "Oh, we were unlucky in this game, and we're doing good here, and we're doing good here, and we're doing good there," but you're still 10th. So whilst I agree with the
I need to add to this.
But the thing is, though, I've literally criticized my team where I need to. I've criticized my players where I need to. I've criticized Poch where I need to.
But Don, you and Ches have both said, right? Like, just to echo what Jay said, you play better against the big attack sides that come out and play against you. But your problem is inconsistency because majority of the Premier League, and I remember Ches saying this, the majority of the Prem are the smaller sides, which you need to pick up points in. That's where you may need to focus on. The big games, you're seeming to do okay. You're not winning them, but you're not losing. You're not losing them. But it's the smaller games. And you said yourself, once you see consistency, let's say we see about 3 wins in a row, 3 wins on a trot, then I think all of us will start to take Chelsea a bit more seriously. I think you've got the quality's there. That's undeniable. I think everyone will agree. But you need to start getting consecutive wins on the board, and you know this.
Yeah, but I'm not asking for validation because I know that myself. Because I haven't, not even now, I haven't said Chelsea have turned the corner. I don't care. Like, we played well against City. The main thing I said after Spurs, I said we need a top performance because against Spurs we stunk out the place. I don't care if we scored 4 goals. It should have been 8. It should have been, It should have been 8-1. One thing about this low block thing. I know Chelsea struggle against low blocks, but if you watch us over 90 minutes against these small teams, we do beat the low block and create good chances. We just don't take them. That's what the problem is. And if you don't take your chance against a low block and they score first, it is a headache for you now. That's when it becomes a big headache for Chelsea. Like when we played Brentford, bro, in that first half, we should have been at least 2 goals up within the first half an hour. Right? That opens up the game. You want to talk about
Madueke's chance?
Madueke, that opens up the game, and it makes them have to come and try and get something out of the game. If they sit back, we end up winning the game regardless.
I wish I had the opportunity to say all this about Spurs losing to Wolves. I got beat fair and square. Like, boom. It's not difficult to say. You know
hold
what
on, Jay.
I got beat fair and square.
This is what it is. Jay doesn't like me analyzing certain parts of the game.
I don't mind you analyzing.
He just wants me to. He just want me to be doom and gloom. I'm telling you what we've been like against low blocks, bro. We've been creating. Hold on. Let me finish, bro, before you interrupt.
Okay.
We create chances against these low block teams. We just don't take them. And like I said to you earlier on in the stream, right? We kept going down first, and then we just drop our heads, and then we can't come back. Yeah. That's when Chelsea struggle. But initially against low blocks, right? I've seen us create chances, and then we missed them. I saw it against Bournemouth. Actually, Bournemouth didn't really play low block, but I saw it against Forest. We missed chances that game. I saw it against West Ham. We missed chances that game, low block. I saw it against Brentford the other day, low block. We were missing chances there, and then they score a goal and they sit back. That is the main problem. We get chances against these low blocks, but we don't take them. That is the main issue that people need to talk about. Not our Chelsea can't play against low blocks, because that's
go ahead.
We've done a lot of talking about Chelsea.
We have done a lot of Chelsea.
So let's talk about Nobbins and with Man City.
Can I just say something on Chelsea, just very briefly?
Of course you can. Stop win.
So the table doesn't lie. However, the underlying numbers also don't lie. And the fact is that Chelsea have been massively underperforming on their expected goals. There's a reason why it's expected goals. Eventually, it will catch up. And eventually, those chances Don's talking about will be converted into goals. So I personally think that, especially as time goes by, this season, we will see Chelsea push higher and put in and actually get results for those performances, rather than it be a similar situation as you guys have already discussed, for like the Brentford one, for example. On another day, it's similar to, and we're not talking about Liverpool, but similar to like the Liverpool versus Luton game. On another day, that's 5-0 Liverpool because of missed chances. It's Chelsea I've been impressed with Chelsea this season.
How impressed though? How impressed? Like, as in, for the money they've spent, for what the squad that they've got, how impressed is impressed?
Well, sure. I personally don't really like to look at transfer fees because, for example, Anthony isn't an £80 million player. I think people can get lost in transfer fees. What Chelsea are doing is more of a long-term focus. And I think that really we should probably be looking at those transfer fees with an eye on what will it look like 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line.
But by the same token, like, in pushing back as a side that's also going through a rebuild right now, and as a side that's trying to put it together,
I've been more impressed with Spurs, if that's of any. I've been more impressed with Spurs, if that's of any interest.
Oh no! I appreciate that. I don't necessarily. It is of interest, and you can go into that a little bit more later.
And so have I, Jay. You know why? Do you know why? I've been more impressed. I've been more impressed with Spurs than Chelsea, because you lot finish your chances. Finish your chances.
But that's not my issue. My issue is more, when I look at Spurs or something, I can see glaring holes in Spurs' squad that they're not able to fix in one window because we don't have limitless money like Chelsea have spent on their squad. So the caveats I'm willing to give Spurs are way more than I'm willing to give Chelsea, who spend $1 billion with the logic of getting all the players together at the same time. Therefore, when somebody tells me this injury, that injury, I'm expecting you to be able to soak it more than another club, because that's why you spent £1 billion to accumulate a squad of that level. It might be unfair for me to be more harsh on Chelsea when they have injuries and not more harsh on another team, but Chelsea are the ones that have spent that money to reinforce the squad to such a level that I'm almost pushing back on it, the praise, until they show me the actual wins, until they show me being in the top 6, because then I can say, yeah, fair enough. But until that point, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt, because they've been given a very good platform to start despite some setbacks. Do you see what I mean?
Where did you predict that Chelsea would finish at the start of the season, Jay?
I thought you'd be around 5th, 6th.
Okay.
You know what? This is a perfect segue, because the whole point of the whole show, obviously, other than the Chelsea Man City stuff, is Chelsea pushing on with obviously unlimited funds, etc., and whatnot. Forget about the 1 billion. Let's see what they're going to purchase. Don, you've got John Obi-Mikel, legend. Yeah, you could say this would make him even legendary. Him trying to bring it up, probably in world football, the only available number 9 of quality, right? In Osimhen, right? Now he said he wears 2 shirts: Chelsea, Man United. Man United, there's no point. Let's forget about that. We went for a different type of striker. It is what it is, right? Osimhen. Now you lot have to deep this, yeah. Osimhen was out of Napoli. It's been strongly linked about Osimhen going to Chelsea, and now it's not going to be for a stupid fee. It will be a big fee because it's Napoli, but it's a fee that sometimes is priceless because goals are worth more than gold, as they would say in obviously in a Premier League. If you go and get Osimhen and you get Nkunku and all this kind of stuff, Obi-Mikel is the best. Simple as that, bro. And this is hardcore facts. If you go and get Osimhen and you get the control you already have within the football, if I deep it, your striker's not actually that involved in the play. I saw it against Man City, not really involved with the play whilst you got Cole Palmer. So you bring in Nkunku and everything. Osimhen, bro, that must be music to your ears right now because if a forward player was saying he's gonna make it his personal thing to go and bring a dominant striker, even though he might succeed, he might not, but he's better than most, if not the best. Bro, you're laughing.
Bro, I'm laughing because I've seen so many phases in our attack here where we're whipping it into the box, right? And Jackson's not in that danger zone. One thing about Osimhen, bro, in that box, that guy is a fox in the box, yeah? He manages to find space where there isn't space in the box. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? And he's physical in there as well. So when you've got Reece James, now that he's back, yeah, hopefully, he maintains that fitness, just whipping them in. Sterling, our wingers, we whip in so many crosses, bro, and no one's on the end of them. You know what I'm saying? That adds a different dynamic to the game.
Your solution is to spend another 150 million.
It's clear that we need a striker though, Jay. So I don't understand
obviously, if you Osimhen would be a great signing for Chelsea. Do you think you can get him if you don't make Champions League?
Yeah, I still think we can get him.
Because I'm not even sure you can make the finances work if you don't make Champions League.
We've got Todd Bowley and Igbali. I'm not a finance expert, but I know that we'll make that happen.
Listen, Osimhen would be a great signing. I think for Chelsea, they obviously could do with a shooter. Jackson, bro,
it's not could do. We need a shooter, bro. We need a shooter.
I mean, it's one of these. It's one of these things where it's like if you're willing to let 20-year-olds develop on your wing, and you're willing to let 20-year-olds develop in your fullback position, why are you not willing to let 20-year-olds develop in your attack?
That's easy. That's easy to answer. Do you want to answer it, Don, or do you want me?
You go, and I'll follow up on that as well.
All right. The thing is, forget about the Billy. Jay. I'm not even gonna lie. I agree with your previous statement about trying to give someone the praise when they spent so much money. It's like it's not going to be a praise as much as let's say a Tottenham because they spent so much money. But this is football. This is Premier League. People spend money. My team spent money. Everyone spent money in some shape, way, or form. They will spend until they succeed, until it's sustainable, where they don't need to spend so much more money, right?
Yep.
So, but when you think about why not go and wait for the development of another 20-year-old or whatever? Look, how's that worked out for them at the moment with Broja and obviously Jackson? The whole criticism around Chelsea is the whole point is that there's too many kids. I'm not saying Osimhen is exactly a kid. He's still young. And to be fair, I'm going to ask Nobbins after if it's a risk and Roms if it's actually a risk or reward or maybe both.
And just to add to that as well, for a guy like Jackson, you need him to learn from someone like Osimhen. When he's watching Osimhen and watching his movement, how he goes about things in training, they're going to talk to each other. He's going to learn from someone like that. Do you get it? We can't put all the pressure on a 22-year-old that none of us even knew about before he came to Chelsea. That would be unfair to do that, right? The thing that you said earlier, Jay, was I'm not going to take in Chelsea like that until I start to see some W's. The only one way into turning these draws or these losses into W's is by burying our chances, and Osimhen goes a long way in doing that, bro.
It's only because I know Nkunku hasn't played, and you don't have Europe, so it's almost sometimes I'm a little bit like the numbers as well. That's a lot of numbers because obviously if you look at maybe Nani can go on loan or something, but you've got Cole, you've got Sterling, you've got Mudryk, obviously you got Nani. You've obviously got other wingers that are already out of the club on loan. Then you've got Broja, Jackson, and Nkunku to come back. He can play on the wing. He can play up top. Obviously, Lavia to come back. So that's going to, make sure the midfield option. So the numbers are good. That's why I'm almost like, do I see Chelsea buying a striker in January or potentially wait until the summer and going all out? I'm not necessarily as convinced as everybody they buy a striker in January, because of the numbers that they've got in terms of the position.
What do you mean in terms of the squad?
In terms of the, like 1, 2, 3 players, as in like
Chelsea have always had 2-3 strikers in reserve, bro.
No, but
and we get a lot of injuries.
Yeah, but you only play one up top. So what I'm trying to say is, while you have 3 options, then maybe Broja goes on loan or something, and then maybe you bring someone else in. But I'm saying at the moment, the numbers wise, I'm almost thinking you've got the numbers, the quality you might want to improve on, but the numbers are there. So I wonder who goes out if you are going to bring somebody in.
Yeah, that is a good question because we don't know what's going to happen with Broja. Obviously Jackson, he's not going on loan anyway. He's going to stay. But Broja, he could be one that gets sacrificed in the summer, depending on when we bring in Osimhen. I would love to bring in Osimhen in January. That one I think is a little bit unrealistic. But listen, when you've got Todd Bowley and Igbali, these guys just managed to find a way in it. So I don't know if they're going to just blow the bag.
Would you not take a striker in January to get at Osimhen in the summer, or do you need a striker personally?
We need a striker, bro. Like number one, in Cuckoo, bro, he's injury prone. Yeah, he can come back, start bagging, and then he gets injured again. And now we're back to square one, and we don't make it back into Europe. Because the squad that we're building right now, bro, as big as it is, we're being proactive. Because when you get back into Europe, that's more than one game a week, right? And obviously, right now, you can see all the teams are struggling with injuries. I haven't complained about injuries once because we've been designed to deal with situations like this. Do you know what I'm saying? But one big hole right now is up top. Like we definitely need a striker. Definitely need a striker. Everyone around us
but being specific then, Don, I'm asking you specifically, Osimhen or nothing. Do you remember Arsenal last?
It depends how we're doing, bro. It depends how we're doing.
Do you remember Arsenal when they lost out on top 4 to Tottenham, and they had that opportunity in the January to bring in a striker, and they didn't. But in the summer they got Gabriel Jesus. Do you see what I mean? Ideally, it affected them for the season, but they ended up buying a better fitting striker for what they're trying to do. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Are you willing to do short-term pain, long-term gain, or do you need the results right now?
How I am right now, I need a striker in January, man. I need a striker in January. If we don't get Osimhen like in January, then I reckon we'll probably go in for Tony, right? Ornstein's mentioned a few times that Tony's not at the top of our list, but it all depends on how we're doing at that point, man. If Jackson, Broja, and Cuckoo are all chipping in with goals, we might say, okay, let's wait till the summer. But if we're still struggling again, then, we're going to have to go in there, man. Look at the Spurs game. Todd Bowley and Igbali weren't watching that game, looking at it, thinking, we're not going to go in and get a striker. That game probably made them think, I'm going to get on the phone to this guy and this guy. Let's sort out the money. Let's sort out what the agent's saying. Let's see how much he wants. Right, because it's a joke in front of goal, Jay. It's an absolute joke. We're unpredictable. Like there's not one person I look at in our team up top and say, this guy's a bagsman. Do you know what I mean? Sterling is the closest guy right now, and you can't depend on him, bro. Like Nobbins will tell you, the guy's a supplementary player. He needs to be playing with a striker. We need a guaranteed bagsman in this team, bro.
Do you know who I think potentially could be? Right now, you don't need potential. I think Broja can develop into that. Because we've seen even in Southampton days and that he can be clinical, but coming off the back of that severe injury, I hear you can't rely on him. You need someone for the here and now.
Let me ask you then, Rob. Right now, so Osimhen, he's good age. He's probably the profile. You could say he's a bit robust, industrial type striker. I would say. I think that's a good way to liken him to. I think he's an animal. He's a machine. Machine is probably the best word. The only downfall is price tag. They wanted 130 for him in the summer. So if it is going to be a January thing, which I highly doubt, because I don't think they'll let him go. But let's say the summer, right? It's going to cost around 100 million, in my opinion, right? And I think that's what they'll because he wants out at the same time, especially for what he's been going through as well. I don't blame him whatsoever, right? He's injury prone as well, which is another risk, but that's good for development. Let's say for a Jackson, right? Because he'll be learning off him. He'll get his opportunities.
Injury prone. They're not like long.
Contract expires in 2 years, by the way.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, and not mad injuries either. But he does
little nipples, isn't it?
It's always them little ones that here and there. But that's not always a bad thing because it always gets the rotation of the squad becomes a little bit more better, right?
Yeah.
So, do you reckon it's more risk or reward for Chelsea, given how much money they have spent, which you have to take into a factor, and 2, obviously their current situation with what they actually need right now, and even a third one before I even relate to it is what else is available?
I would say, and here and now, I'd have to say it's a reward because let's say, like you said, it's never severe injuries, but let's say he's very injury prone and he'll miss, let's say every 4 games or every 4 games, right? the games he does play, let's say be it's a semi-final or final, and he's the player to get them 2 important goals to potentially win a trophy. I just feel like even if he doesn't play consecutive games, he will play enough games and he'll score significant goals to maybe propel Chelsea onto certain things, albeit that a trophy or top 4. Let's say he's injured against a bottom half team, for example, and Chelsea have enough to beat the bottom half team, but then he's back against a top 6 side, and his goals are the difference. So for me, I know they spent a lot of money, but Don will know his owners, they're very ambitious. Money isn't really a thing for Chelsea.
We made a lot of money, bro. People love to ignore the fact that
I forget that you
sold a lot of players, bro.
Yeah, you offloaded a lot of players as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, FFP won't be able to. It won't affect.
Hold on. Before we do that, because obviously they did borrow happiness from tomorrow for today, with regards FFP. They didn't. They're not in Europe this season. Nobody.
That's why I'm asking. But
they've stabilized the finances and the wages, but I don't.
We're not counting here today.
You can't. Yeah, but you eventually have to pay the piper, and that offset that they've got, like with no Champions League revenue, is a big deal. So I'm not saying that will mean that they can't spend on nothing, but if you're saying £150 million striker, what's Osimhen going to want wages wise?
It'll be less than that.
You know what, Kaz? Another thing.
No less than 100, 300, 350 grand. I'm sure you're still paying Lukaku off and stuff like that. So
wait, let me. Before you do that, it's best to add some context to this. So Victor Osimhen, I'm going to get his wage up. Right now at Napoli, he's on, as far as I know, from 2021 to 22. Apparently, he's on 5 million euros, roughly, right?
Okay.
Trust me when I say. So when I tell you now, if they offer him 200,000, who's available to even go and buy him today, he is taking that money.
I don't think so. I don't think Osimhen is from a profile point.
Do you know who Chelsea are, by the way?
Listen. There's a difference between buying players from Brighton and Benfica and buying from Napoli. Like you're arguably
we're a bigger club than Napoli. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I'm saying that. What I'm trying to say is that if you look at Osimhen's profile in world football, he's probably of his age group the number 1 striker. Yeah.
Okay, so where else can he go then?
How old is he quickly?
24, yeah.
25?
So he's gonna reach. If we let's say
I'm not saying he's gonna reject you. I'm just saying it's gonna be 300 to 400,000 a week.
Bro, put it this way: it's not gonna be 400k a week. We will. There's an exception to the rule for certain players. Yeah. If we need to break the bank wage wise for Osimhen, let's say we don't get into Champions League and we get him in the summer, right? There'll be an exception to the rule for that for certain players like him, because like Cass said, goals are golden. Yeah, they're golden. So strikers earn the more time. You get what I'm saying? Because they get the goals, right? So if we need to overpay in terms of the wages for Osimhen, we will. But our wage structure has completely gone down, bro, since Todd Bowley and that came in.
Okay, so listen. Personally, I don't think you're getting Osimhen for less than 300 grand a week. But
that's fine. If you're scoring goals, I don't care.
I'm not saying you won't pay it. I'm just saying I'll be interested.
The main issue with the like Osimhen in January situation is that, first of all, you're dealing with Napoli. I was a City fan, I know what it's like to deal with those guys.
Yeah, problem.
Very, very hard to deal with. So if they want like 150 million for him in a summer, then how much are they going to want for him, in the knockout stages of a Champions League? First of all, they'll probably be asking for mental money. But like, just from like a sort of like, because someone mentioned FFP, I've read a couple of like, financial models from like, people who know much more about me on this sort of thing. And currently Chelsea are according to some people, they're already over the limit. According to some people, they are just on the limit. And that's accounting for the difference in wages, the players that they've already sold, etc. So to then splash another however much in January, 100 to 200 mil or whatever, somewhere around there, adding on all the wages as well, I don't know if it's feasible unless they got Champions League football, because that's a big revenue boost. But there's not a guarantee they'll get 5th. So if we're talking about risk versus reward, if there is a care about wanting to abide by the FFP situation, it would make more sense to wait to see what the to either see if you get Champions League football or wait until the summer and maybe you sell someone. Maybe you offload Lukaku permanently. Maybe you offload, Broja.
He's a goner. He's a goner.
Believe, is Broja an academy player as well? So that would be like that's free money on the balance sheet. So that might be the time when it makes more sense to bring in Osimhen from a pure financial perspective. On pitch, you want him as soon as possible.
I think Jay are overthinking. Go on.
Just to add on to the point earlier, you're saying Kaz, Osimhen's injury prone. Who's to say he goes to Chelsea and he becomes fit for the majority of the time? We saw it with Haaland, right? Haaland had this thing where he was injury prone before he come to City. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nobbins, he only missed 2 or 3 Premier League games last year. I remember one was against us at the Etihad that he didn't play. But Haaland's come to City and he's hardly got injured. So who's to say Osimhen goes to Chelsea and he just stays fit? So I would say it's more of a reward than a risk.
And also, let's not forget the Saudi bid. Yeah, so everyone's saying that Osimhen's going to accept.
He turned it down. He already came out and said it himself.
But he said he was very tempted to go.
But he said he's got a lot to achieve in football still before he goes anywhere.
He's not going to go Saudi over Chelsea at this stage of his career.
Listen, I'm not saying he's going to go Saudi, but they offered him 60 million.
This is Spurs hopium right now.
Right. I really feel, hold on. This is my thing. I really feel, Don, and some of the listeners, I'm reading the comments out the corner of my eyes. I don't think you're listening to the words that I'm actually saying. You're interpreting them in your own way, and you think I'm being more critical than I actually am. Me saying that Osimhen's going to cost you 300 grand a week is just an opinion of his standing in the game as a footballer. That's not me telling you that Chelsea can't acquire him. That's not me saying that Chelsea won't have him in the team next season. It's just saying,
but
I don't know if you can afford it if you don't make the Champions League.
You're making a lot of contradictory points though, because at the beginning you started off by saying that Chelsea have unlimited funds or whatever, and then now you're saying that you basically said we can spend.
You're not listening to the words I'm saying.
So
you're interpreting. I said.
So what did you say about our money? Then?
I said you spent £1 billion, so I'm unwilling to give you the same leeway as certain other teams for your injuries. Literally, that was the point.
Okay, the point I'm going to make to you is I think you're overdoing this finance thing, because if we want to pay Osimhen the wages, we will pay Osimhen the wages. Right? Sterling's on free. Sterling's on about 320 a week, right? You do know that?
Yeah, listen. Did I say that you can't afford to pay him the wages? No.
Yeah, but you're worrying about. You're making that. You keep pressing on that point, and what I'm telling you is there's certain players that there's going to be an exception to the rule for, bro, and he's one of them.
But I'm saying there's a difference between buying a Mudryk on 100 grand a week on a 7-year contract and buying an Osimhen on 300 plus grand a week and giving him like signing on fees and blah blah blah, 150 million fee. Like, there's a difference between those two transfers, in my opinion. It's quite clear there's a difference. I'm not trying to put Chelsea down. There's just a difference between those two types of transfers.
Let's just hear it. Let's just try and move the conversation on it anyways. Guys, by the way, there's 500 of you in here. Please look, quick, look, that's a little tutorial. There is 500 of you in it. Please look. Little instruction. Exit the live chat. Like the video shamelessly. If you do not mind. We need those likes up. We need at least 300 likes by the end of this video, if you don't mind. So if you haven't done so yet, and obviously please check out Mr. Nobbins' channel as well, and Greasy's one, which is under construction at this moment of time, but all in the description as well.
My guy's been slacking on that, by the way. Jesus, the amount of times I have to catch up with this guy.
Yeah, and a super chat, Kizzy says, Steflon, as in Don, your club got Johnny Minerals moving mad.
Yeah, Johnny, man, I had to educate him a little bit yesterday, man, and he started coming with the same script. No bonus, yeah.
That was a good.
His videos when it pops up onto my timeline, I have to watch them.
You're legendary, innit? That's just.
Bro, I told him off camera. I said, Johnny, you are a legend, bro. You're a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think he realized that how funny that he actually is, unintentionally, anyways. Moving on, more business that might be happening to Saudi and a lot of movement. Boy, Man United. Before we talk on the Tottenham one and Gimenez and their striker and whatnot, or Gimenez, Sancho's 100. This is Fabrizio's words, by the way. He's 100% set to leave Man United in January, and he might not be the only one. Whether it might also be Varane. it's looking like a good chance Rand's also going to leave in January, and it looks like it's all going over to Saudi. See, now there's been a dispute. This is nothing new, and I know a lot of people know this is nothing new. Juventus want a loan. That's already been said. They only want a loan as of now because maybe they can't afford anything, Nobbins, or even Roms. But the way I look at it is, actually, you know what? I might even divert the whole question.
Interesting.
I might divert the whole question. Does Sancho deserve to leave?
Deserve as in
like he's allowed to go and play, or deserve as in like you should lock him in the basement kind of thing.
Man's trying to get him locked up, you know.
No.
Cass, who did it?
No. Does he deserve to leave in terms of like, should he be the one that's to leave, or should it be Ten Hag the one that deserves to? Which one deserves to really leave? Like, honestly, like, you know what? I've contemplated two different decisions. I think I made up my mind.
Possibly both.
Well, my thing on Ten Hag, and I go up and down on the guy because last season he did well. Pause. No, he's
I do what's killing me, yeah? It's the fact that it was Nobbins that clocked it. It was Nobbins that clocked it.
I thought we would have beaten
No. So, but to give United a bit of like. The reason with United, it's a little bit back and forth because on the first game, Wolves absolutely crashed it on United, and United had a full team. Do you know what I mean? So I was a bit like, ooh, that's a bit of a worrying performance. But then after that, you know, if you lose Shaw, you lose Martinez, you know, they've had other scattered injuries. I don't think the style of play is there, but third and a trophy in your first season, I think that gives you the season. Or it gives you a good amount of time. Do you know what I mean? And I think that whilst I don't really agree with how he's managed Sancho and things like that, the manager deserves an opportunity. Just take away the selection of players from him, get a good scouting team and give him the players. Say, listen, we've analyzed your style of play. These are the players that you need to play it. Rather than letting this guy dictate with his little agency and then doing like little deals and getting backhanders and yada yada, give him a chance with a proper scouting team and a proper data team, and see how it goes. Keep an eye on, I don't know, because if you let him go, Amorim, I quite like Gary O'Neill. See how he improves over the next managers like that.
Tottenham standard, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing is you get into a point now where, in terms of pedigree of manager, it's a new generation. So the plaudits that previous managers have achieved, they become less and less important. So you see Tottenham take Ange. You see Arsenal took Arteta. You see Chelsea actually turned Poch down, but then went back to him. They circled back to him the second time round because they're looking at who's available, and you're going to have to take a risk anyway. You're going to take De Zerbi? That's a risk. You want to bring Nagelsmann in? That's a risk.
You know what, Jay, to validate what you're saying as well, the proof's in the pudding. They've kind of gone for that big name manager in your Louis van Gaal and your Mourinho, and it's not really worked. So maybe a project manager would be good. But the only thing with this Ten Hag debacle here is, if you was to sack him, and you know this, Kaz, it will be rinse and repeat. The new manager will come in. It will be good for maybe 6 months to a year. It will galvanise Old Trafford. United fans will have something to cheer about. I think your results will get better. You might have a style of play. But like we all know the saying, a fish rots from his head downwards, right?
Never heard of that.
Until the stuff. Say that again?
Never heard of that, but continue.
Yes,
I like
come. The rest of the panel, have you heard of that saying?
I support Tottenham. Daniel Levy's everyone. Oh, fish rots from the head. You know.
Yeah.
It's
the perfect example, Cass. I'm surprised you haven't heard that over the years. You know what I mean? You've been in the mud for the past 10 years.
But what do you mean? Your club didn't exist before 20 years ago, G. Allow it. Anyways.
Yeah, here we go.
just with Ten Hag, right? The reason why I would like him to say firstly as a variable, because I think this is kind of going to be a pattern where you win a few games, then you lose a few games, win a few games, and in that regard, you'll kind of fluctuate. You'll just plateau. You won't really improve, but you won't drastically get worse. You'll just kind of be kind of staying stagnant. But I just feel I'm going to echo what Jay said. I think once you get Paul Mitchell, is he apparently coming? I think once you get some good sporting infrastructure in, I'd say if I'm looking at it objectively, give Ten Hag a bit of time and get actually sporting people behind him. But we know this is a results business game, and if the results don't get better, then your fans are going to leave. Well, they've lost patience anyway. But I think more Ten Hag inners will even become Ten Hag outers.
Let me ask. Right, the whole point, we can keep going back and forth. It's a bit boring, Ten Hag out, this, that, and the other. But let me ask. Cool. It looks like his destination might be Saudi. It could be somewhere else. Nobbins, price, how much? Because honestly, for me, for Sancho, in terms of price, there's been a debate, especially between me and in the group chats and Twitter and whatnot, how much he's selling for. I said we're not getting more than 60 million for him.
I saw him linked to Juve as well.
Yeah, loan. That's what Fabrizio said.
I think he'd probably do. If I was a United fan, I'm thinking around 50 million is probably what about. You're never going to recoup your total money. He must be on a lot of money at United in terms of wages. That's basically just a fire in the pocket. Like it's just like yes, his wages must be like burning a hole in United's financial pocket. He's just not doing anything. So you might as well try to get something for it. As I say, you're not going to recoup the whole amount, but I think that that would be quite a decent amount. And as I say, maybe if Ten Hag is right, then maybe that's like like a bad influence that you're taking out of the dressing room. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors, who's actually at fault, etc. But if he is this sort of toxic person that he's alleged to be, again, all alleged, I don't know, then maybe it will be worth taking the hit financially on a transfer fee if it means that overall
I think in Europe,
increase squad harmony.
Don, I think in Europe, Sancho will go for about 50 million, but I think the Saudi Man United can recoup their money back to him.
He's paying 50 million for it.
I think in order for it to go for 50 million,
because Sancho is young, yeah, he is English. People forget that, and also there's abundance of ability there, and it just hasn't worked out at Man United, right? I know there's wages upon it, and also you have to consider that into everything. But if we're talking Saudi, right, you get a bumper up on money. And to get tempted over Saudi and buy a European club, you also got to get a bit. I think Man United can recoup the 70 million, but do I think that's realistic? In my head, probably not. I think they'll offer 60. Wages are not a thing for Saudi. Let's put one thing straight. Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
It doesn't. I don't think. Yeah, man.
Sancho can't go to Saudi. This is the point.
Sancho can't go Saudi, but Osimhen can. Yeah.
No, he can't.
You run yourself again.
Let's be fair. This guy grew up, with Bellingham, Haaland, and him. Yeah.
Who said he won't go there?
Yeah. You see Bellingham at Real Madrid. Yeah. You see Haaland at Man City. Sancho's ego will not allow him to be in Saudi this time.
He's not going Saudi. He's not going Saudi.
I agree.
I think he's not. He thinks he's better than he is.
Mate, and that potentially will drive him to stay in Europe. United's best option.
You ain't getting all 50 million in Europe.
A dry 12-month loan or whatever. Try and get all the wages off and trust the guy to play well and increase his value, and then try and sell him after that, or reintegrate him if Ten Hag's gone.
Yeah, Cass, that's what I was gonna say, man. I don't think Sancho's gonna go Saudi this point in his career, man. And you saying 50 million in Europe. Who's gonna pay that, bro? Like, listening teams in Europe are gonna pay that.
That's in Europe. I think he goes to Saudi. Honestly, I think he goes to Saudi.
I don't see it.
From what I think money always plays a factor, and something he's earning a lot of it. I don't know where his head's at, to be fair. So I'm not going to make that judgment upon someone that I don't know if he cares about money or he cares about football. All I know, money's tempting in life, and whether we like it.
Yeah, but bro, if he's got good people around him, he's already been on what free. This is what I'm saying. That's the question. That's the question. What he does next?
That's the thing.
Hold on, Cass. Yeah, his next move will show me what he's really on. Yeah, because Sancho, end of the day, as good as he was at Dortmund, he should have never been on 350 a week. That's a madness, right? He's earned all that money. He's earned so much money since he's been at United. Yeah. If he leaves to go Saudi to go get more money again, this guy's not serious, because he can make the most out of his career. He's still young, right? He can still earn a decent amount in Europe, like 150k a week, maybe 100k a week, after earning 350 for 3 years now. Do you know what I'm saying? So if his next move will show me what he's really on. Is he money motivated? Obviously, everyone's money driven, or does he actually want to make himself a little legacy there? Do you know what I'm saying? So personally, I don't see him going Saudi, but if he does,
Agree.
Well, for what I do know personally, in it, obviously I know a little certain extremely close to him. Yeah, I know everything. He don't have good people around him. That's the thing, and that's why I feel sorry for him. I'm not gonna scapegoat him because it's a shame because you got a profile like Hoyland up front and Sancho seems perfect.
One thing.
It's just a shame, innit? Whether it's him or whether it's Man United or whether it's Ten Hag. It's just a shame because he's got all that talent and it's whatever.
It's a great point you make, Kaz, because I remember hearing a Kevin Prince Boateng interview when he was talking about all the clubs he played at, and he actually said specifically about Sancho. He thought Sancho's issue was that when he went to Germany, he left all of his entourage behind. So they all stayed in London. They weren't with him. And he had to grow up. He had to do a lot of things himself. And he even still had issues with lateness, with tiredness, not attending training, blah, blah, blah. But he was the best version of himself. And it's almost, without wanting to get too much into media narrative hype and, dragging him down negatively when I don't know the player, it did seem that leaving Sancho, like someone's like arrogance. I always think Sancho is a single-minded kind of person. You know that from when he leaves City, knowing that he wants to play football. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
He has his own mentality of how his career should go and what should be going on for him. And we'll see what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think we'll see in January. And the last thing we're going to talk about is that Santiago Gimenez is making the rounds lately. Feyenoord had a very good season for his age last year, and he's already totaled that in his season this year. Now, we're talking about strikers. Now, I think Don's probably going to allude to, or maybe he should go to Saudi because, it's not tempting, right? Like, but Osimhen, But other than that, look, bar all that stuff, Roms, I know you have to dip. So, yeah. But other than that, big up. So safe for that one.
Love.
Santiago Gimenez. What people don't know, he's 22 years of age. He's turning 23 this year. Bit of a big forward. You could say he's about like, what is he, 6 foot? Something like that. Scored 15 goals last season, right? In the league, by the way, not in anything else. 5 in Europa League. And this year, he's already got 15 goals, and that's 2 in the Champions League and 13 in...
What team is he playing for?
Feyenoord.
What's his name?
Santiago Gimenez.
Oh, I've heard about this guy.
So,
I haven't watched it.
Bit of a baller. He's been rumoured around 40 million euro for Spurs at a striker. But I don't know if that's actually the position that you should be looking at right now.
I think so from what I've seen, Spurs are on him. Like that looks like
he was linked with him in the summer.
Yeah, we look like I've not seen anybody else who's like, as in like we look like the most prominent name around this player at the moment. I like him. I mean, I think for me personally, I hate paying more than 40, 50 million pounds for any player in world football now because there's so much risk.
Yeah, it's true.
With the profile, I almost think that if you have a good data and scouting team, why are they? If you're giving your data and scouting team 40, 50 million pound a player, why are you not bringing me gems? What are we doing in the scouting team if 40, 50 million pounds isn't enough to bring me a player that in 1 year, 18 months?
But they're saying around 50, 35 million pounds to secure his name.
Well, that's it. That's it. So it's I look at it from the point of view of saying Spurs. Richarlison hasn't really worked.
It hasn't really.
I mean, you say that, but in terms of goal contributions this season, he's doing better than Jesus. He's doing better than Rashford. I think if you look at the body of his work across Tottenham, it's not really worked, and I think that was a signing that Conte requested a little bit more than fitted into the style of transfers that Spurs have been doing recently. So I saw Saudi's interested in Richarlison, and I think if Spurs get the opportunity to move Richarlison out for 50, 60 million or get close back to what they paid for him, and then bring in Gimenez and maybe bring in Illing Jr. from Juventus on loan or something, that would be a very good in and out. Like,
is he good enough to dislodge Son on a permanent basis and move Son to the left, do you think?
I think
Gimenez chap, yeah.
I think Gimenez I think Son's 31 and I think he's going to go to the Asian Games. So whilst giving Gimenez 6 months, we still got Veliz. We've got a number of good young strikers too. Gimenez would basically just sort that out. So basically, if you have Son, Gimenez, Veliz, that's fine. And then you've got young strikers. That's enough. Then you're looking at, okay, who's the creative winger? Okay, who's the centre back? I think the centre back will be first, but
that's what I think. That's what I think you'd have been aiming for. Like, I thought, you know what? I think it's apparent that you need backup. Like, before striker right now is centre back. It's like you surely got to be centre back.
Yeah, I think a centre back is the first priority.
Because we ain't seen Ashley Phillips yet, and I think I already know about Ashley Phillips from time ago. I actually know the brother, but I'm just saying, it's like we don't know how he is going to be in a setup, and you can see there's a gaping hole because there might be another injury after again for Spurs in that area.
I think just because we brought Gimenez first, I was focusing on that. I think a centre back.
You'd hope for two. You need at least 2 signings, I'd say.
I think we probably get 1 centre back, and then you get 1 centre back in the summer, depending on what you like, where in Europe you are, because it's almost like you bring somebody in January. It's really, I mean, for Spurs at the moment, Spurs have brought in Aston Villa's main scouting and data team over the last few weeks. So they got Johan Lang, who was up until this last summer in charge of Villa's transfers. Rob McKenzie, who was the chief scout.
Hey, this is proper knowledge. Damn.
Yeah. So and then they brought in the head of Villa's data and analytics. So that shows me that Spurs have a big intent to try.
They probably got a network. You're doing good networking, basically.
Yeah. Well, basically, there's a big gap between like the likes of your Liverpool, your Brighton, your Brentford's analytics, and the rest of the Premier League. Like Chelsea are doing pretty well in that regard, but even them, they're building out this data analytics team. They're building out the data. They're building out the information. So, for me personally, Spurs are going to use this, and that's why I want to see gems. I want to see players where I'm like, okay, I trust you guys. I trust you guys know what you're doing. So, yeah, I look forward to bringing in maybe 2 or 3 players. We'll see what we manage to shift out. We're not as good at selling as Chelsea. I know you guys mentioned it. Like, Chelsea have sold very well. I think Saudi helped them a little bit, but I don't think Saudi took the piss. They were
in Chelsea, man. Chelsea,
but they were selling Mount, they were selling Havertz. Like, they did really well in sales. They could have sold Chabaloa, they could have sold Gallagher.
Chabaloa. That sounds like a Pokemon, bro. Man said Chabaloa, you know. Oh my gosh.
Big Trev. So yeah, listen, I'm like, as I said, we're 1 window into a rebuild for Tottenham. So I'm expecting 2 or 3 signings in January, another 3 or 4 first teamers in the summer, and then I think you're gonna see what Spurs are potentially capable.
You're saying next year, yeah? All right, next season. You heard it here first, yeah? Jay said, watch out next season. That's what he's saying.
I think next season will be much better. Like, let's.
No. You said, yeah, no. I heard the vim in your voice.
Watch out. How many players was that I just mentioned? What, 3 in January, 3/4. So 7 players. When we bring 7 more players into this team and squad, that's when you're gonna see.
Not 6, 7 people. But yeah, man, look. Shamelessly plug yourselves. Obviously, Nobbins, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, L Nobbins on YouTube if you like football.
There you go, man. And obviously, Don under construction, to be continued. It will happen. Don't worry, one way or another. And then obviously, Jay, Mr. J, you might find him on the Gals channel.
No. You can find me on Twitter. For now.
No one's gonna search you. Greasy Don. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Don't worry. We'll put in the description for you. Channels. No one's to hear what you have to say on Twitter, man. Shameless. Yeah, we're gonna be back tonight. So yeah, man. I don't know what panel is gonna be. Probably be a short one. I'm probably discussing bits and bobs. It is international break, so we have to make do. But I'm not gonna just force content for the sake of it. But yeah, we're back tonight, so watch out for that 10 p.m. And yeah, man, love to the panel, and in a bit.